thanks to intervention by South Dakota Governor Bill Janklow. Janklow says the 12-year-old twins, Kimmy and Connie, were the victims of bureaucratic arguing between the states of North and South Dakota, although the two girls have attended the South Dakota facility for 5 years. They recently ran into snags with North and South Dakota arguing over who should pay for their education. But now Janklow says the girls can continue in school while the issue is argued in court. In Janklow's words, and we quote, "Maybe we have to bend the rules a little bit this time and let the government's stupidity work itself out," unquote. The most important thing to him, he says, was to see the two little blind girls in school. The problem started last year when the Hoffmans asked the state of North Dakota to pay transportation for their two daughters to attend the South Dakota school. North Dakota officials refused, saying the girls could attend school in Grand Forks for free. Unfortunately, that school is a 900-mile round trip from Hoffman's home, while it's only a 450-mile journey back and forth to Aberdeen. The Hoffmans are fighting the matter in North Dakota courts, saying the girls have a right under federal law to attend the closest facility. Meanwhile, the South Dakota Board of Regents wanted the Hoffmans to put up $19,000 to cover tuition should they lose their North Dakota court battle. The Hoffmans refused to enroll their daughters under those conditions. That's when Janklow stepped in. Hi, everybody. That was a trip down memory lane. What you just heard was a news article that happened, as you heard from the clip there, when I was 12 years old. There was a big fiasco between North and South Dakota, the two states, since my sister and I lived right on the border. They were disputing about where we should go to school. And I will get into more about that in a minute and the huge impact it would have had on our lives depending on who won the battle. Um, but before I tell you more of the story, this is going to be a shorter video again. Um, but I just wanted to quickly tell you about the video I did a couple days ago when I chatted with my AI. And that turned out to be a pretty popular video, so check that out, especially if you are leery about talking to artificial intelligence and don't really understand what the big deal is or how it could benefit people. I think you'll find that video entertaining and hopefully educational along the way. Um, so check that out. And also, I am pretty much prepared for the big event that will be happening uh, on Saturday, um, August 31st. I'm glad I started planning ahead of time though, because there is a lot to figure out when you're going to do it the way I'm going to do it. But it's pretty much ironed out now, I believe. In fact, I felt so confident that I even scheduled it. So it will be happening at um, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, or 12 Pacific, or 2 Central, or 3 what am I missing? Eastern. Yeah. I will try to remember to post the link to that event in the description of this video, just so that you can click it and be notified in advance. If you go there and then hit the notify me button, it will send you an email once the stream has started, and it will give you the link. So you can just click it right there from your email. So you'll be reminded and you'll have easy access to the stream once it has begun. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun just jamming out with you all. And Patreon members get to make requests, or I might even put a PayPal link up there in case people just want to give a one-time donation. And then you'll be able to make your request if you want to do it that way. But anyway, it should be a fun time, and I'm looking forward to it. And if nobody is brave and requests anything, I'll just do my own thing and play whatever I feel like at the moment. And I'll try to cover various genres and decades and all that type of thing. Um, so anyway, that will be coming up. this weekend. I hope to see a lot of you there because I'm kind of nervous, this being my first live stream. Like, is anybody going to show up? And I guess if nobody does, you can always just watch the stream later because it will still be available on my live tab. And so, anyway, um, I'll have fun anyway, regardless of who, if anyone shows up or not. So, there you go. But now getting back to my story. Um, so yeah, it was just really because like they said, the school in Grand Forks wanted or said that we should go there because they didn't want to pay out of state tuition because technically we live or in South Dakota. I don't want to misspeak here. But we live in North Dakota, so that's why they thought we should go to school there, and they didn't want to pay out of state tuition for us to go to school in South Dakota. Um, Even though we just barely lived over the line into North Dakota, and our address, our mailing address, was actually South Dakota. Um, and so um, that's why they, even though the school in South Dakota was only 200 miles away versus the one in North Dakota, which was like twice as far. And this was already after we had been going to this school for 6 years. This suddenly came to a head when we were in sixth grade, and we actually missed um, several weeks or maybe even a month of school that year, which we were so disappointed about because we were so much looking forward to sixth grade and being in Mrs. Lily's room and all that. But we actually had to stay out of school um, for quite a while before it was finally decided enough that we could um, keep going where we were and not upend everything and totally have to start over at a new school. And not to mention, the biggest thing was that we wouldn't have been able to go home as much near, and because we were going home every weekend before, and just thinking about how our lives would have been different if that had been the case. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to see our brothers grow up and help to teach them because they didn't even have to go to any school for the blind. They were just able to start out right in the public school system thanks to the help that Kim and I had given them ahead of time. So they might have had to end up eventually going to school in Grand Forks too, and our parents just wouldn't have had nearly the influence on our lives. We wouldn't have been able to have our musical band, a gospel band that went all over um, the multi-state area there surrounding North and South Dakota, and I don't even know how much we would have been into music or anything like that. So just the implications of that decision would have been monumental. And so I'm just going to play another news story real quick, and then I'll tell you a little bit more.
In Aberdeen next Monday, thanks to Governor Bill Janklow. The governor says the girls, 12-year-old Kimmy and Connie Hoffman, can go to school in Aberdeen until North and South Dakota officials decide who should pay for their education. Problems arose earlier this year when the Hoffman family, which farms near Lemon but lives just across the border in North Dakota, tried to collect money from North Dakota for their weekly trips to Aberdeen. That state responded by saying the girls should attend school in Grand Forks, North Dakota. But the close-knit Hoffman said they won't send their girls 450 miles away to Grand Forks when the Aberdeen Blind School is just 190 miles away.
So yeah, I'm just really glad that my parents didn't give up and just kept with it because it was just a big fight and just really stressful at the time. And so yeah, we were all over the radio and TV and newspapers and everything else there for a while. Um, so it made quite a stir, and fortunately we got to capture some of it on tape. I wish we had video back then. You could have seen some of the video that went along with these. But anyway, so I'm glad it all turned out right. As you heard, the governor had to get involved, and we got to meet him, and we have pictures of that. I should have had the picture ready. I could have at least showed that on the screen here, but I'll do future videos about things and be able to backtrack and kind of show things and stuff. But yeah, I was on one side of him and Kim was on the other, and he was giving us a hug and like we were thanking him for coming to our rescue basically. And so Yeah, I think there might be a couple more news stories here. I'll just show them to you real quick.
Nine sisters asked the school for the visually handicapped in Aberdeen. The girls, Connie and Kimmy Hoffman, live in North Dakota, just a few miles north of Lemon. The State Board of Regents voted in August to bar the 12-year-old twins from school unless their parents guaranteed the school for the visually handicapped would get $19,000 in out-of-state tuition. However, Governor Bill Janklow later ordered that the girls be allowed to attend the school until a court dispute over the payment was settled. Acting Higher Commission Education Commissioner Gordon Foster said yesterday the officials were notified recently that North Dakota will pick up the girls' tuition this year.
So, yep, we ended up not having to leave the school, and this is just a little side note that the school in South Dakota was newer, and because it was made in 1960. I don't even know when the one in Grand Forks was, but the Grand Forks campus was more spread out and different buildings and stuff like that. And of course, we were just used to the school and all our friends and everything, and wouldn't have wanted to leave anybody. Oh, and by the way, I've started a Facebook group for it's called Former Students of Schools for the Blind. So if you just type that into your search, you should find it. There's probably about 30 members there now, and I don't have much time to moderate it and be on it very much. So I wish it was a little bit more active, but I think the more people join, people just start going with it. Even though I can't be there as much, but I try to be there as often as I can because I just think this is an era that we should remember, because there won't always be boarding schools like where kids had to go and live in dorms and stuff like that. So we should try to keep those memories alive. And it's just fun to talk about the different experiences people have had and stuff like that. So there, I'm gonna play the last story here for you that I have.
Live just inside North Dakota will be able to continue attending the school for the visually handicapped in Aberdeen. North Dakota has decided to pay the girls annual tuition of $19,000. The Roland Hoffman family lives on a North Dakota ranch just 5 miles north of Lemon. The girls, Connie and Kimmy, have been attending the Aberdeen school for 5 years. Their parents wanted the girls to attend the Aberdeen school because it is closer and allows them to go home each weekend. The South Dakota Board of Regents voted in August to bar the Hoffman girls from school unless their parents paid the out-of-state tuition. The Regents voted yesterday to accept North Dakota offer to pay tuition.
So there you have it. That's basically the story. And I'm going to bring this to a close now, but I can't wait for, I probably won't record another video until this weekend. I hope to see you there and have your requests ready. Um, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.